You know, growing up, I've always heard the rich will always be rich and the poor will always be poor. Now, while I'm on this financial freedom journey, I took a deeper dive looking into this, assessing my own personal finances and others to see, what is really going on? What are some of the habits that we are doing that are keeping us poor, keeping us down into that category from breaking free to the richer category, the wealthy, making more money. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you some habits that are keeping us poor. And we definitely want to break out of those habits, especially in 2025 as we're claiming a financial reset, right? Now, doing my own assessment, I've realized that the number one habit that is keeping us poor is disorganized finances. Yes, and if you're guilty, let me know in the comments. We don't keep track of our expenses or income coming in and whatever we're spending, right? Income versus expenses. So we have this habit of just spending rather than taking a closer look at our expenses versus our income and plan accordingly. I find myself being guilty of this bad habit also because I myself was doing this, a period of my life. Now that I'm on this financial freedom journey and I am educating myself more around financing, now I'm taking a more intentional approach with my finances, budgeting, and just having a tracker. Now I've downloaded a tracker, which I've had it in the past, but I wasn't consistent. But this year I'm planning to be more consistent and more intentional with my finances, money coming in and money going out. And when we do this, we have a clear financial goal. So we can direct our money where we want it to go and we have full control over our finances. Number two, the other habit that I've realized that has been keeping us poor is not paying ourselves first. Be like the rich people. I remember reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's recommended that you pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. Take out at least 10% of your income. Put it in a savings account where you're not seeing it and you try to live off of whatever is left in your account, right? So this, again, I've been doing this for a while. I have an automatic deposit that goes each time I get my pay, then that is automatically transferred into a savings account that I don't have a debit card access to. So I only go in it for emergency. So I think you should start taking a look at this also. Start paying yourself first. So if you don't have that automatic savings account, go and open up a savings account and go and contact your HR person for them to transfer a portion that goes directly into your account each time you get paid. If we keep up with this habit of not paying ourselves, then we will start, spending, living with lifestyle inflation. And then we try to save some money after paying all the bills. And then we realize that there's nothing left to save, right? So it is important to put away the money first before you dive in and start paying other people, start paying the bills, the mortgage, the car note, the insurance. And we know all the living expenses that we have to pay, right? So that's a tip for you to make sure that you're saving 10%, at least 10% of your income. Other habit that I've noticed that has been keeping us poor in this poor bracket is not having an emergency fund. Do you realize, the rich people and the wealthy people, they don't have to rely, or if something happens and they know that they have some form of emergency money saved up. If they get laid off from the job, if something happened to their job, you don't have to go into a panic attack because you have some money saved up. If someone in your family gets sick, if you have to travel, if something in your home is broken, the AC, the furnace, you know that you have some emergency money set aside and you don't have to go to that payday loan where the interest rate is so high. You're like doubling and tripling the amount that you borrowed, right? So this is very important, and this is a habit that you want to get out of to stop living poor, right? So make sure that you have an emergency fund saved up, at least 3 to 6 of your living expenses saved up into one account, all set and ready if there's an emergency pops up. number 4, this is another one. And if you're guilty of this one, I'm not sure if you're going to admit it and leave it in the comment. But if you're brave enough, let me see. And this is to have friends or families that have expensive hobbies or lifestyle which you are trying to keep up with. Now, tell me if this one is you. You know, you have that friend. They might be able to afford the luxury lifestyle that you're living, the big house, the fancy car, traveling, going out for brunches, for lunches, and you know, all that fancy stuff, buying the expensive name brand clothes, while you know that your paycheck cannot afford this. But you know what you do? You go in debt. Put yourself in debt in order to keep up with this friend, this family, or the Joneses, the people in your neighborhood. And you know well enough that you cannot afford it now. Why do we constantly do this? Why? No. If you want to get out of being poor, yes, being stuck in that mentality, that poor mentality, no, you have to take control and you have to set your limit and set your boundaries. Start saying no to things that you know you cannot afford. You know, if they're planning a spontaneous trip, going Miami, going Dubai, you know, going somewhere for vacation, and you look into your bank account and you realize you can't afford it, why are you going to swipe that credit card that is almost already maxed out and you'll be paying such high interest rate? Start setting some boundaries and start telling those friends no. You know, rather let them teach you ways of making more money. Start making the money first before you start living that luxury lifestyle. Start investing so that that money can fund your lifestyle, the life you desire. Before we go on to number 5, have you subscribed as yet to join our thriving family here? If not, I would invite you to go and hit the subscription button, because in 2025, we're setting clear financial goals. We're buying the houses. Yes, we're investing. Yes, and we're creating additional streams of income. So if that sounds like something that you'll be interested in, go ahead and subscribe so you learn about financial freedom and independence for 2025. Now, the 5th habit that I've noticed that has been keeping us poor is not making more money. Okay, we go in and we do our analysis of our income and our expenses, and we realize that our lifestyle, although we're not overspending, is not enough. The income is not enough to maintain our lifestyle. And I know we don't want to live a mediocre lifestyle, right? We don't want to cut back so much until we're not enjoying life, right? So in order to live a modest lifestyle, you want to maintain the life that you are living, right? So in order to do that, sometimes we have to go ahead and create additional income streams. This might mean starting a side hustle, yes, creating another income stream, investing, or doing something that you know can create another income stream. And I've done several videos about this. As you know, I'm a registered nurse myself, and I'm here on YouTube. That's another income stream. I'm also a real estate agent. That's another income stream. So you know what? Go and check out this video here that I've done with all the different income streams I've created while working a full-time job. So if you have a full-time job, that's not an excuse not to create another income stream, because you know what? You never know what will happen to your current job. You never know when they will be laying off staff. You never know what will happen, right? So one stream of income is such a high risk, especially these days in today's world. So go ahead and consider what other stream of income you can start creating in 2025. Takes us to number 6 as we're speaking about creating additional streams of income. And the number 6 habit that is keeping us poor is waiting too long to invest. Investing can be investing in a different variety of things: bonds, stocks, crypto, real estate. The longer you wait, then you know what? The longer you'll achieve financial freedom and independence. I know a lot of times we make excuses that we don't know how to get started. We're not knowledgeable. We don't know what to do. We don't know the first step to take, or we're waiting until the interest rate drops to buy that investment property. We're waiting on the right time to start investing in stock. And before you know it, another year goes by, another 5 years go by, another 10 years go by, and you still haven't started investing as yet. You know how the rich does it? The rich leverage real estate. They leverage a wide variety of different means of investing, and they use that money to fund their lifestyle. They start investing in real estate, buying one property, pulling the equity, getting another property. That's what we call real estate investing. And if you're interested to learn more about real estate investing, let me know in the comments and I will do a video just for you. So think about it. Think about different ways and means of how you can start investing right now to make that money work for you in order to plan for your retirement. Number 7, the other bad habit that is keeping us poor is getting too comfortable with bad debt. Yes. We have multiple credit cards, and the average interest rate for credit cards these days is about 22%, right? And we are living and surviving off of credit cards, which we know we cannot afford the lifestyle that we're living, which I just mentioned before, right? And you're getting so comfortable rather than looking into assessing your finances and see how best you can consolidate these debts. You go to Walmart, you go to Home Depot, you go to wherever, and they offer you a credit card, and you keep saying yes. You keep accepting these credit cards. Why? It's time to put a stop into this debt consumption. And I must admit, I was also guilty of this habit of getting comfortable with debt. There was one point that I would just be swiping my credit card for every and anything until now, as we get older, we get wiser, we get more financially literate, where we are now taking control of our finances. That's what I've been doing, and that's what I've been encouraging you to start doing also. Especially now we're in our 40s, right? So this is a perfect time, might be too late, but better late than never, to start going in the right direction of our finances, right? So start paying down those credit cards, whether the snowball effect. Start, if you have multiple credit cards, create a goal and write down which one you're going to pay off first, or if you're going to pay them little by little, until they clear them off. But figure out a way that works for you and work for your finances to start get less comfortable with that. Now these days, when I see my credit card going up, it's like I'm having an anxiety attack. But back then, years ago, I would be like, you know what? Yeah, I can die with this debt. But now you see the effect of bad credit and how it affects your finances, your financial history, your credit score. In order to go further on in life, to start investing, these things will affect your credit score later down in life as you go. So start working on it right now. Not next year, right now in 2025. This now will take us to the 8th habit that is keeping us poor, and it's putting everything on credit card. As I just mentioned, back in the days, I'd be doing everything, just putting it on a credit card. The credit card would just keep piling up. And then you realize that you can't pay off this credit card. You're paying this high interest rate. You're paying the minimum amount each month. Therefore, it's not going nowhere, nowhere. Until I've consolidated my debts and I've, set off on a brand new financial reset. Now you're more aware and you're more intentional. So now these days, if I'm going to use my credit card for a large purchase, like over $100, I make sure that I have the cash to pay back, right? To put it back, to transfer it over. So start doing that. If you don't have the money or you can't budget to say, you know what, in the next couple weeks or in the next month or so, you're going to create a financial plan, a goal to pay off this purchase that you have made on the credit card, then don't bother. Don't bother to put it on the credit card. So that's one advice for you. That's something that I've started doing, and I would advise you to start doing also. Those small, little, you go out, you buy a coffee, or you go and get something to eat, you're at work, or you go get lunch, use a debit card. Not because you can get cash back, air miles, and all those good benefits that they use to tempt us to use a credit card. It's not because you can get those, then you're going to use a credit card for everything. Be smart about it. Yes, make those purchases, and yes, transfer it back from your debit account, savings account to your credit card. Got it? If that makes sense, type in the comment, make sense. Now that's it, guys. That's it for today. Those are the 8 habits that has been keeping us poor, stuck in the poor mentality, and keeping us crippled in this category so that we can bypass and go into the rich life, the wealthy life. So now you have to assess and see which one of these habits you are guilty of and start making those changes to stop being poor, stop living poor so you can get to the other side. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.